So I think one thing is the procedural piece, which is the training. So you can practice psychology at the master's degree level. In the state of Florida, it's the licensed mental health counselor, or an LCSW, which is a licensed clinical social worker, and there might be one more master's level designation. Typically, those training programs are 3 years, which includes a year internship. If they want the doctorate, which is much more extensive training, and in a lot of ways, it's typically 5 years, including the internship. So it is a time commitment, and it's a mental energy commitment as well. So there's a level of motivation that one would want to have to be able to engage in the process from a more emotional personality orientation. Because I am also a professor and I train doctoral students, I see the most successful graduate students that I've trained are the ones that have great capacity for empathy. They can not just sympathize, but they can literally put themselves in the other person's shoes and experience what they're experiencing, so they can connect in that way. Much like an artist does with the canvas and their subject, right, Colette?
Right, absolutely. I love that you made that similarity.
Yeah. So they have to have great capacity for empathy, and the other characteristic is not to be judgmental. To really, it's not about telling people what to do. It's about helping them find their own path. Sometimes you give feedback in terms of talking about what the research shows and how the children can benefit even into adulthood if families resolve their conflicts as children when they're going through divorce. You can talk about that. But in terms of ultimately finding their own path, it's their path. It's not my path or not the psychologist's path, but helping them find their way and resolving their own problems.
Yeah, that's yes, you have to be, I think you have to be a very a balanced person to be able to have a career in psychology, I would think, because you have to be very sure of yourself and hopefully bring calmness and balance to the situations that you're actually experiencing, much like yourself. And what inspires you to continue working in your field?
So, wow, what a great question.
I'm just throwing them all at you today. You know that, right?
Appreciate that. I think the inspiration, because for me, it's been a journey from really early on in my life. Sometimes I don't think you stop to think about what inspires you, but I do know I look forward to going to work every day still. And I graduated college a long time ago, many decades ago. So, and I'm still excited about going to work. So I think in reflecting on that, one of the things that's inspirational is the power of human strength. To see how people are, because maybe this comes back from the whole non-judgmental, empathic, caring, compassionate upbringing I had. But I really believe people are very, very good. I hate the word good, but they're very, very compassionate. And where we really see that when there's a crisis and strangers jump in. And I think that is so wonderful about human nature, and it takes a lot of strength. So for me, that inspires me. I think the journey I've had and the privilege of embarking on this journey with families and assisting them with their problem solving is also inspirational for me as well.
And
I love
and the students that you inspire, because I'm sure when there's new students that you have come to you and sort of say, I'm not sure. I'm sure that you're having to do a lot of talking with them and sort of finding out if they really want to be in that area of study or not. Do you find that students question themselves?
So the beauty of being a professor is I run this clinic at Nova Southeastern University for traumatized children and their families and family forensic psychology. So I'm assigned a group of about 10, 11, 12 practicum students every year to train. And we start in the 1st of September and we end in August. And so they have a caseload. It's like the apprentice model. And it is beautiful because by the end of the year, the training year, I have had the privilege of seeing them grow so much. I listen to some of their recordings of sessions, and I can hear it, I can see it, and I can see their self-confidence and the light bulbs go off. And that is truly inspiring and exciting.
That is wonderful. Yeah. What is your most heartwarming story of a successful outcome that you have experienced in your career?
Wow. Okay. So
choose one.
All right. There's many, and there's really probably two domains that have there. It's all thrilling to see families grow and change, and students, and children. I believe the ones that jump out at me are cases where children have a medical issue, and we can go in as psychologists and help so that not only does it improve the quality of their emotional life, but their physical life. Mm-hmm. We had a little boy once, years and years ago, where he was being intubated frequently from having asthma attacks. And what that means is that they had to put him on a breathing apparatus so he would live. He would start to suffocate because his airway would close from the asthma. And what we found out is that it was happening almost every week. This was happening. And the physicians finally said, listen, he's not going to make it to the hospital one day. He's going to die, because they lived quite a ways from the hospital, unless something gives. And the physicians kept trying to refer them to psychology. And so finally they were scared. So I was lucky enough to work with the family, and I taught the little boy strategies to reduce his anxiety right when it was happening, so that the asthma attack would abate and the medication would have a chance to take hold, and he wouldn't stop breathing. And so the father was a very bright man and was a scientist as well, and he wanted data. And so one day when I said, listen, when you see this, because I had them practice these relaxation techniques, have the child lie down and try these relaxation techniques and see if he can reduce his anxiety and his airway won't close so tightly. So the dad did that, and because he was skeptical, he's a scientist, and so then he had the child blow on the airflow meter, and lo and behold, it worked. And
wow!
And it made him a believer, which helped encourage the child, and the child was able then to get control over the asthmatic attacks, and he wasn't having to be taken to the hospital.
Fantastic. And that's a very heartwarming story, and a testament to you as well. And now we have 2 minutes left. So I have very quickly, can you do this in about 1 minute? I know that your job is very emotionally stressful. So how do you prepare for your day? And are there some of the things you do on a daily basis to balance your life?
So I think everything that we hear from the physicians and the practitioners, I mean, how many times have we heard you have to get plenty of exercise, and cardio especially, because it helps with endorphin release.
Yeah.
Which helps with stress. Sleep. We know that that's becoming more and more important, that adults need more sleep, and having outlets that are apart and away from work, as well as a good personal life with your partner at home or your family. So I'm currently taking a painting working with phenomenal artist, taking some painting classes. Right, Colette?
I wonder who that is.
So,
and she's a model student, by the way, to all our listeners, nationally, internationally, just so you know.
Well, that's the best. But it changes, at least as taking the painting class, and Colette sees it, it changes my focus. So my head's somewhere totally different, which can also reduce stress.
Jan, thank you so much. Dr. Jan Faust on Yin Yoga Lifestyle today. What a pleasure it has been. And if you would like more information about Dr. Jan Faust, please visit her site, drjfaust.com. And thank you again for being here, Dr. Faust, on Yin Yoga Lifestyle.
Thank you for having me. It was such a pleasure.
What a great time. And please don't forget to check us out at yinyogalifestyle.com, adding enlightenment, calm, and balance to your everyday life. Thank you for joining Yin Yoga Lifestyle. I am your host, Colette Darville.
Join us next time to continue our journey of balancing into a state of perfect harmony. Until then, this is Colette Darville, reminding you to inhale, so, and exhale, hum.